I took an international flight on Friday afternoon, landed at Heathrow on Saturday morning. I exchanged some money at the airport for some quick cash, which turns out to be about 27 pounds for a $50 bill. Ouch. Walked to Terminal 3 to figure out the Piccadilly tube line. Happy as a clam at high tide, I found Amy. Wandered around her office in Chiswick neighborhood for a few minutes, then I cheated and took a nap from the jet lag. I woke up saying good morning to the sunset. We headed to dinner with work folks and then drinks at a pub afterwards. We watched a card trick that didn't turn out as it was supposed to before walking back home. Great drunken night that ended up a little too loud at the hotel. Sunday, we leave our luggage at the hotel and head to Arsenal's Emirates Stadium. I was elated to get a behind-the-scenes tour from a football legend and walk down the tunnel. I swear I could hear the roar of the crowd. Afterwards, it started to rain as we wandered around looking for food. Luckily, I was still over the moon and didn't seem to mind. We finally settled on Thai food and beers at a pub, which seemed to go hand in hand in London. The next day, it doesn't rain, even though everyone said it would. Downtown, the weather was sunny, and we tried to search again for real breakfast. The British really have a lack of imagination when it comes to food, so coffee and beer are becoming a staple for us here. We walked around Trafalgar Square, took numerous photos around town, saw Parliament Gardens, Big Ben, went to Westminster Abbey and heard an amazing all-boys choir, saw the Eye of London, Covent Gardens with street entertainers, found dinner in Soho, perused through the crooked streets, saw Piccadilly Circus, but only stayed about 15 minutes as it just seemed like the Times Square of London. Super overjoyed that we finally found breakfast at Spitalfields Market. Got the hang of the tube, took it everywhere. Made it to Buckingham Palace where we watched the changing of the guards and talked with the British police about how they were called in for the Royal Exchange. Apparently the Zimbabwe ambassador was visiting for tea and crumpets. Traveled in the tube to Notting Hill and Kensington Park. Ironically, found a store filled with some California wines. Stopped at an old traditional pub called the Churchill Arms. Enjoyed a lot of London Pride beer. Walked in circles and found the old Vic tunnels hidden beneath the Waterloo train station. Apparently the city designated these abandoned underground railway vaults as a performance space for graffiti artists, cinemas, and concerts. Found good Indian food at Brick Lane where we were heckled and offered all sorts of free drinks and appetizers. Woke up early and split for Paris by the Eurostar train. Found ourselves sitting in a group of grade school kids, which unfortunately did not make for a calm, quiet ride. But either way, we were way too excited. Once we arrived, we walked around the Latin Quarter looking for the right direction for our apartment. A woman saw us lost and tried to help. When we asked if she spoke English, she immediately said no, but instead walked us directly to the correct street of our apartment. Who said the French are not nice to tourists? After perusing a nearby market, we went to meet Amy's family friend Charlotte, who bought us dinner. Unfortunately, this was the only day she could meet, so I just continued to hide the engagement ring in my pocket. After dinner, Charlotte left, sending us in the right direction for a brief view of the Champs-Élysées and the Eiffel Tower. The rain kept us at a distance, so we decided to leave it for another day. Had an amazing buckwheat breakfast crepe with a noisette before heading to Luxembourg Gardens. Luxembourg Gardens was pretty when the sun finally came out. Too bad the gardens weren't in bloom. Took lots of photos of us having fun and exploring. Headed towards Notre Dame in the middle of the city. There seems to be a historical church theme on our trip so far. Saw the Pont Neuf Bridge and listened to a guy playing accordion. Got lost in the crooked streets. Decided to finally head to the Eiffel Tower. Feeling a little nervous with all the tourists around. Sat on a park bench in the Eiffel Tower gardens. It was getting cold, and I decided to propose. She said yes. Took a boat ride on the Seine and had late-night drinks. Paris rocks like you can't imagine. Took the metro and was intrigued watching some men putting up an old-style fashion ad in the tunnel. Met up with Jocelyn, a Parisian woman that took us around the Place de la Bastille. We learned about history and architecture and enjoyed a noisette while discussing immigrants and the effect on the French language. She took us to an old local market that had some of the most amazing flowers I've ever seen, but have never heard of. After we parted, we took the metro towards the Champs-Élysées for sunset and almost became roadkill crossing the street. Walked up to the top of the Arc de Triomphe and had the best view of the Eiffel Tower. In the Latin corner of our neighborhood, we found a restaurant and had a late-night dinner and chatted with some university students out for the evening. We went early to the Eurostar and paid the underground lockers to hold our bags for a few hours so we could run around. Had the best shopping trip in the Jewish district of Rue de Rosières, which means Street of the Rose Bushes. Fitting. We bought great gifts and had amazing potato pancakes. Amy found the perfect unique French purse and perfume shop that had stunning French charm. The woman was so nice talking with us and just guessed we were from San Francisco. We spent the next few hours wandering around shopping and getting our fill of outstanding French food. Timing was getting close, so we hopped on the metro to go back to the Eurostar. Got there at 2 a.m., so we just slept in the airport hotel for a few hours before waking up to catch the morning flight home. Not sure if we were tired and excited to get going or begging to stay for more. Either way, the trip was an unforgettable barrel of fun.